Hello, everybody, and welcome to Music Industry Insights Worldwide. Today we have the awesome Chloe with us. Hi, Chloe, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, thank you for asking. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm from Nottingham. I'm a singer, songwriter, and I do a bit of production on the side sometimes as
Ah,
well.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
cool. And what's it like in Nottingham for music at the moment? Do you find the music industry is kind of expanding? Is there
Oh yeah.
networking events and conferences to go to?
Yes. Yeah, there's loads. I went to one in Leicester recently,
Oh,
which was really nice to see like PRS come down, like a couple of like management companies there, um, just doing workshops and yeah, it was really, really good to see. It's a buzzing place at the moment, I would say. Yeah.
that's what I like to hear. And how did you get into music? Did you have an education for it, or was it just a pure passion?
It's always been a passion, but I did go to uni,
Right.
um, but it wasn't for me, the whole uni thing, just because the pie was great, that side of it was great,
Yes, you're
but
right.
the coursework was just so intense, and I had a bit of a mental breakdown at that point.
Sorry to hear that
Um,
about myself.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
so it really
you just
affected.
decided to go back to the creative stuff and kind of use as an outlet and a therapy.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people sometimes say to me, "Oh, why have you got so many videos on YouTube?" And it's like because that was my like outlet.
Totally get you. And that's some of the reasons why I do these podcasts as well. So I meet new people and sometimes you feel a bit isolated or lonely or down. These will
Yeah.
cheer me up, meeting like-minded creatives, finding
Yeah.
people, but also talking about some of the challenges and barriers that you've been through and overcome to be where you
Yeah.
are today. So Chloe, tell us a little bit more, like female producing is heavily underrepresented. What's
Mm,
for you up north as well, being a
yeah.
female producer?
It's very difficult because, especially with radio, you don't really. I find that I have to water down a lot of what I want to say, and I have to kind of fit it into a mold so that it gets airplay. And then when I'm doing that, I'm like, no, that's not creative. That's not me.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. So you're trying
So
to kind of balance it.
yeah, but I have had a few songs played that of my own production wise, which is
Yeah,
good recently
fantastic.
because I'm
Congratulations.
only fairly new to it, you see.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's a
I
big
just
step.
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Congratulations. And tell us a little bit more about your music, the style, like the genre,
Yeah.
and a little bit more about the songs that you're bringing out and what you've already brought out.
Yeah, so the songs that I'm doing, they're kind of like I would say heavily lyrically influenced by Taylor Swift, like with
Okay.
her poetry and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I would say it's kind of like dark R&B, kind of pop, and then it just kind of changes all the time. Like
Okay.
some days I want to do folk, and then the next minute I'm doing something completely different.
That's
So
all good. That's all good. Oh, how's that? Have you got an album or an EP, or is it just singles at the moment? How's that going?
yeah, so I'm posting a lot of music on SoundCloud at the moment because I'm getting more kind of joy and feedback from like seeing how my listeners are growing and
Oh, good.
streams are growing like visually in front of me.
Yeah.
Um, like I've got like I would say like an EP out, like a folk EP sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Cool.
Um, but I haven't put that on Spotify yet, so that's my next
Something
thing.
to come. Cool. That's
Yeah.
well done. So tell us a little bit more, like what kind of challenges and barriers have you faced? Like obviously being a musician, how do you
Yeah.
make your money or do you sustain that? Do you just do that in your bedroom and make
Yeah.
music that way?
Yes, it is that way at the moment, which is I'm hearing it a lot, and I think I heard it on one of your recent podcasts with a manager. I think it was a manager. Was it someone? I can't remember, but yeah,
Quite a lot of
um, I'm doing a lot of like bedroom producing and recording from my room, which
oh,
is really nice because I have like that total control, which
safety
I
as well.
love
Yeah.
creatively.
And the safety of your room, so you don't actually have to go anywhere, which is also in its own right sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, but like I say, it's just it's a difficult one because I'm putting a lot of money into this, like
Yes.
buying the equipment and, you know, sometimes promoting my stuff on Spotify to get more reach. And it's like, it's my money that I'm putting into it. And I don't seem to be getting much back at the moment being independent.
Angie, that's what I kind of why I asked this question is I'm
Mm,
sure like this is where I find it even difficult for when I speak to a lot of artists is how do they make an income because it's not from streaming anymore. You've literally
that's
got to get out and sell merch, be on Patreon
right.
and kind of do live gigs, right? To get any kind of income.
Well, I need to check Patreon out actually. I
Yeah.
think that's something I need to check out because
Well, some
yeah,
good thing you
I've
could do.
not been doing many things.
Right. Yeah.
Go
So
on.
maybe some like gigs and get out there and meet people as well. That would be another, you know, because sometimes it can also be quite isolating, can't it? If you're just sat in your room
Yeah,
by yourself, you want to get out there, you want to build a community and you want to
yeah.
create buzz as well, don't you?
I know, and I'm actually quite a shy person when it comes to performing.
Yeah.
Um, Even though like I feel like I've got a confident voice as a singer, it's totally two different people when I'm on stage.
With you.
So
I feel the same, but the more you do it, the better you become. And that's everything, right? So if that's a producing and singer-songwriting, you can get up there and you can do it. Just, you know,
oh
in the
yeah,
deep end, you'll be fine, Chloe. You'll be fine.
thank you, Saskia.
And actually been doing this for now, and how many songs have you got out?
Say that again, sorry.
How many songs have you already released at the moment?
Oh, oh gosh, quite a lot. I don't even have a number.
Okay.
Just I would say over 20.
Brilliant. So if anyone wants to go and find them, how could they find you and connect with you and your music, Chloe? How could they do that?
Yeah, so I'm always on Instagram, which is Chloe Freda Jane and then 95. I'm on Threads. That's how I got in contact with yourself. I love Threads at the moment. I'm really loving the vibe on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've done quite well on it. I think once you get the algorithm and it kind of understands you, because it's quite a personal thing. Because I notice I talk a lot about music or my specific subjects, and every time
Mm,
I do that, I get loads of likes. And if I mention something that's not kind of in anything to do with music, I don't get any likes at all. So I've
yeah,
one.
yeah, it's good. It's a good one. And then I'm on SoundCloud as well,
Yeah.
and obviously I'm on Spotify and iTunes and everything like that. So yeah, you can find me
And
on
I'll
there.
put links in the description below as well. So I'll ask you this, Chloe, how do you think the music industry is doing at the moment around equality and diversity? Do you think there's a lot of representation? Do you think females are still underrepresented? And what more could we do to ensure that we have an equal playing space for everyone?
I think women, personally, from my experience, we don't get taken seriously enough.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of sexualization. There's a lot of wanting to kind of get to know the right people to kind of build you up and to sweeten and to charm. And I'm not into all that.
oh,
I'm
agree.
just like, please, can
No,
we not?
no, you know what? I really love you. I love the fact you said that because I think, you know, I'm at that stage now where I've done a lot of that people pleasing. And then
Yeah.
in that, you start asking yourself, well, is that originally me? Is that authentically me? And then
Mm,
sometimes there's these little conflicts, and you think, well, actually, I need to say something because if I don't say something, then it's not going to change. So I think
yeah.
there's that balance, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely, Saskia. You're right. Yeah.
And it's really nice to see actually that you are your authentic self and you do stick to your kind of guns and you just, you know, it's better not to, I don't beat around the bush, but I'm always treat people with respect and dignity. I think
Yeah.
that's really important. And how do you find misogyny in music as
Oh,
well? You know, that was a big topic last year.
yeah. I'm laughing because it's just still there, you know. It's still a thing today. Like, I want to be real. Like, even some people that are in the industry at the moment, like, they'll be just looking at me like I'm like an object. And I'm not. I'm not a package. I'm a person and I've got thoughts, feelings, I've got opinions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as a woman, we have to be told on how we look, dress, all of that. So there's still that going on, I
Yeah.
think.
And it's such a shame that hasn't changed. I'm so sorry to hear about some of your experiences there. Do
That's
you
okay.
cultural and age differences have an impact on the amount of equality and diversity we can achieve? Like, I was looking at some stats the other day, and I think
Mm,
52% of the workforce is now female. So that's kind of in line with what the population is. But then when
yeah,
you're looking up and you're going to kind of high levels, you're not seeing
yeah.
that go through. So do you think cultural and age differences have an impact on that as well? And like cis white men? still being in that game and not wanting to step aside and let other people have a try?
I don't know too much about that topic myself, so it's
Hmm.
difficult for me to comment on that. But I do appreciate where like you're coming from and everything with that. It's just like I don't have a comment for that. Oh, really? I don't have an educated comment for it, so I'm not gonna.
And do you think obviously being in the music industry has affected your kind of mental health and the way you feel about yourself and your well-being? Or do you think it's had a positive impact? Because I think sometimes it can have both, can't it?
Yeah, I think it is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I have, as I said earlier, experienced the lows,
Mhm.
but then the highs are always, when you get that airplay or when you meet that person that helps you in the industry, like yourself, for example. It's lovely to connect with you,
Thank
and
you so much.
um,
And likewise.
yeah, so um, I mean, I've got complex PTSD, I've got stress-induced psychosis, I've got so many of these like mental health things, but I just try and put it all into my music, and that's the best I can do with that.
It's an outlet and try and, it does help kind of express yourself. And I've got PTSD myself, so I totally understand that. And
Yeah.
it kind of comes in waves as well. So you can't always manage it as easily as what you think sometimes. So I do get you on that one for sure.
Mm.
So if listeners want to kind of purchase, have you got anything you can purchase at the moment? Is there anything like that they can go and see or purchase, or any new releases coming out soon? What's going on with that?
You know what, Saskia? I need to work on that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That is something that I need to work on. I don't really have anything other than what's on Spotify. Um, I put a lot of my work out on SoundCloud to stream for free,
Right.
um, just because I don't have a label, I don't have management, and I don't necessarily need them, but it would be nice one day to get them for the support, obviously to know navigate where I'm going.
Brilliant. So if there's
But
any managers listening on this today on the podcast, whenever you listen, please do go and check out Chloe's work. And if you think she's at that stage where she's ready for a manager, or even just give her some advice, that'd be
yeah,
extremely helpful, because I know sometimes you're trying to focus so much on your creativity that you can't do everything all at once. So, it's always nice sometimes to just stick your head above the parapet and say, here I am. So my
yes.
you know. And how do you find the social media kind of stuff as well? Like doing that and your creativity?
Well, I try and not to share too much of my personal life on social media, but as you probably realize, social media, like, uh, with the fans and stuff like that, I don't feel comfortable saying fans, but do you know what I mean? My followers,
Yeah, yeah.
um, they always listen to my like moans and groans, but then they're always sort of there as well for my highs. So I don't really know. I don't really
There's
know how to.
so it's like a little community that supports the music that you do, and it's nice to have that, isn't it? So it's
Yeah,
have people that understand you and supporting you through your ups and downs,
yeah,
being part of your journey, which is really
yeah.
nice.
Because I did post like a photo of me actually. I wanted to show someone like online the real like impact someone can give
Yeah,
somebody else when you're like being bullied or like tormented in the street or whatever.
yeah.
'Cause obviously I'm of a certain weight. Um, I just someone said something to me and I posted it on social media and I had all these comments of these people just saying lovely things.
Yeah, it's unacceptable for people to be rude based on
And
where you appear, because at the end of the day, there is no normal, and everyone's different, and that's the beauty of life. Like, I just don't understand why people have to be so narrow-minded. It makes me
yeah,
really upset to hear that, Chloe.
yeah. I mean, that's why I normally have headphones on all the time.
Walking down the street and stuff, yeah. So you
Yeah,
just block it out.
block
It's
it
kind of,
out.
yeah, 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 I get you on that. I've
Mm,
been through situations, myself when I was going through my transition, and people used
mm,
to be horrible with that and say things, and
mm.
it can really throw your day, and it can really stick with you throughout the whole day.
Oh,
And this is
yeah.
what people forget as well. Like, they might say a word for a minute,
Mm,
it might not even 30 seconds or something, and that
oh,
will stick with you for the whole day and just knock you
mm.
off your day, won't it?
Yeah, but then when you realize that you have that support network there as well, it
Yeah.
does really lift you up again. So
does. It does. Yeah. So look at the positives and try and find that little support network. And I think that's what music's given you, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. More than I realized that, I think.
Yeah, it's an outlet and it's also got your little community at the same time. And
Yeah,
you feel understood and respected. I love to
that's
hear that. That's what
yeah.
this podcast is all about. So yeah, clap to that. What would you like to see improve in the next couple of years, looking at the music industry? What things could we make better for everybody?
I think if um well, I've heard that universities now have like mental health, like people come in to sort of be there if they students need it. But back in the day, like 10 years ago, there wasn't that there.
Right,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
difficult because I'm not in that education thing anymore. So I don't really know what's changed there. But if
Mhm.
I was going to say anything, like I would just be like, there should be more helplines, I think,
Yeah,
maybe.
resources as well, like for people to go and find out if they want to talk to someone where they can go and helpline numbers, like you say. And that's funny you said that because I'm bringing out a new charter in May, but it's specifically around trans and non-binary individuals. And it's going to have these toolkits and resources in there,
Yeah,
helplines, information.
great.
And I think a thing is a lot of people are interested in well and learning new topics and subjects, but they're afraid of offending someone or getting it wrong. So this
Mm,
it gives people like a chance to do it by themselves and to
yeah,
make mistakes and to learn in their own time rather than
yeah,
forcing down someone's throat and saying, well, you have to do this. Do you know what I mean? And it's there and it's
yeah,
optional. Like I'm not forcing anyone to take to sign up to it, but these kind of initiatives, I hope other people will then kind of use and as a template for their own communities too, because that would
yeah,
really, you know, be a nice.
yeah.
And when you're going out to live music events, I don't know if you go out to many, but do you feel safe? Do you feel it's a place where you feel respected and safe when you're out?
Um, well, I actually, to be honest, I don't go out much. Um,
Either myself, to be honest,
I,
it's the music industry.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's because I'm shy or because maybe people are a bit standoffish sometimes, or that's just my opinion, but um or perception, it's probably warped. But um no, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one.
All right, no worries at all. Well, it's almost the end of our episode now. I was also
Yeah.
going to say to you, we've touched on some really important topics there. Thank you for sharing everything with us. Is there any major wins or successes you would like to share with us before you go?
I got a song played on my local BBC introducing, I think
Yeah,
on Thursday.
and that's a big step as well. Well done.
Thank you.
Have
Um, so I'm always pushing for radio, but
yeah,
I'm at the point now where, like, again, I would love a manager. I'd love someone to just be like my booking agent and help me get some gigs, and because I
yeah,
do find it difficult to find out who are all these promoters. I don't know who they are,
yeah.
so
I think that's another important part of networking as well is getting out there and finding these people, you know,
yeah,
and how they can help. But I will say this to you is I've spoken to a lot of people and they will say, well, if you're not making any money, how can you pay a manager? Which is kind of like the thing. And I think a lot of
oh,
managers will say, well, if you're not making money yet, you don't need a manager. And it's kind of a really tricky one, isn't it? Because sometimes
yeah,
you need a manager to help make the money. So it's one of them
yeah.
ones that you can find some good ones. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
you one that will help you out and give you some advice till you get to that stage. But they
I'm
always,
putting it out there in the algorithm.
yeah, that's it. Pray and hope. Let's wave the magic wand and
Let's
hopefully,
wave it.
you know, yeah, you will get some awesome management soon. Well, thank you
Thanks.
so much, Chloe. It's been
Oh,
awesome.
that's fine.
Really enjoyed our chat.
It's been great. Thank you.
This is out soon, all right? Thank you ever so
Oh,
much.
thank you. Bye bye.